Tell us on 0901 293 4400, 0901 293 4400, and good luck.
Well, as you just saw, Camilla was pictured in yesterday's papers looking terrified out of her wits and hiding her eyes at a performance of a traditional Sikh martial arts. Well, as Judy said, they're going to do it here live a bit later. Will you be able to watch the most death-defying stunt in their entire repertoire? Find out shortly before 6. It really is frightening to watch. We've been watching them in rehearsal. But now let's see the flashing blades and the men who shot the Duchess of Cornwall. And yes, their swords are very, very, very sharp.
Wow, that was amazing.
I think I'll stay here. With us now, Gatka Master Uptej Singh and Gatka Senior Instructor Baljit Singh. That was fabulous, and that was just a tiny, tiny example of what those guys can do and what you've taught them. What is this routine exactly again? How old is it?
It goes back to about 600 years. The warrior concept was instilled by Guru Har Gobind Maharaj. He was the 6th Guru of the Sikhs and the grandfather of Guru Gobind Singh. And he actually introduced the concept of miri piri, which is similar to yin and yang, the balance of right and wrong, light and dark. And for a warrior, that is paramount. So you have to have a balance of the saintly side, as well as the spiritual side and the warrior side.
So hang on. So as if you were a warrior and if you were being invaded, you would defend yourself by having a mixture of those two things, the saintly spiritual side, and yet the sort of the killing side, if you like.
You'd have to. One of the codes of conduct for a Sikh is to live by the sword. But living by the sword also means drenching your mind with the love of God.
Right.
So you have a soul of a warrior. And the spirit of a saint.
Right.
Without those two in parallel, things do go wrong, as you can see.
Isn't that interesting how in all cultures, whether it's in the East or here you go back to the culture of the English knights, you know, there is this thing in tandem of almost the holiness of the great warriors that need to be spiritually in tune as well as proficient, you know, with the sword. Anyway, we saw these pictures in the papers of Camilla in stages hiding her eyes. You must get that a lot because it's not a trick. It's a piece of swordsmanship. That piece of swordsmanship where the sword goes straight into above someone's stomach is petrifying to watch, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, when we saw that, I mean, I didn't even see it because if you saw the picture, I was more concentrating on the guy who the watermelon was on. So I was more concentrating that he doesn't get hurt. Sorry?
No.
You were no. Who was wielding the sword?
That was Uptej Singh.
I see.
And
right.
you're the guy who guides him literally around before he starts.
Yeah, well, I guided him around, and then I grabbed the bamboo, which you're going to see later on. And then I stopped, you know, the bamboo just by the chest there, you know, so that it doesn't go through. Because sometimes the Uptej is he goes down with a heavy force and. Yeah, things can go a bit wrong.
So when you do this later on for his live, are you actually, you're feeling Baljit's sort of guidance on you?
Yeah, you feel the guidance as well as the beats of the dole. Gatka itself means a bit rhythm. Gat means beat. Ka means the way. So it's the way of life. For us, it's the way of life. So in tune with the rhythm of the drums, you work with that as long as well as
the sword.
But once you've started the routine and you're moving around and you're using your sword, you're completely on your own and you're blindfolded. How do you know exactly where to stop with the blade? So you cut through the melon, which shows how sharp the blade is, but you don't cut through his skin.
Well, there's some things that we just have to keep.
All right.
Silence.
Well, we all trust in God it's going to be OK tonight.
There's a picture there, isn't there?
Well, yeah.
There you are.
I must admit, was it you that said to Prince Charles afterwards, don't try this at home?
Well, yeah, I couldn't resist that one. I thought, you know what, it has to be said.
Well, we have telephoned the palace. We've told Camilla that she has a second chance to see it this time from the safety of her living room. We're told that she's already got the cushions ready.
Right.
You can be watching like that. So you'll do it live for us later.
Yeah.
Indeed you will.
Okay.
Yeah, they're back with the stunt that petrified Camilla later in the show. Thank you very much indeed.
See you later on.
See you later. Now, meanwhile, footballers Judy, and the results will be revealed in 2 weeks' time when Richard and I are actually hosting the awards.
But the moment of truth has arrived. Our Sikh martial arts group are ready to perform a sword stunt so terrifying that Camilla, Duchess of Cornwall, could not bear to watch on Monday when they performed it in front of her. A blindfolded swordsman will chop his razor-sharp blade into the watermelon on that man's stomach, and he will judge the blows so precisely that the blade will split the fruit but leave the man unscathed. So let's go. And remember 2 things, please. 1, kids, do not even think about doing this at home. These guys are expert professionals doing it for years. And 2, this is live.
That was absolutely amazing. I don't know about you, my heart was totally in my mouth.
Actually, your expression was priceless.
Oh, my God. I think I said 3 Hail Marys through that.
I have to say that after all that stuff about, these terrible practices in the... in
China.
I felt like saying now the ritual execution. Yeah, guys, that was amazing.
It was amazing.
Thank you so much for doing that.
Wonderful to watch.
As I say, we did call the palace and we did tell Camilla we were doing this, and one just hopes that that she was able to watch it. Jeez, were you watching it? I was watching
no,
it.
I did. I
saw the whole
forced
thing.
myself.
Wow.
Yeah.
OK,
well,
listen, thanks a lot for coming in.
Yes, indeed. Thank you very much. We've got faceless tomorrow, the kind you draw up like that.